Be sure to stay tuned for Rewind.
Hey, we got a great show that has kind of come together here. We thought we were going to be talking post Chili Bowl, TJ's experiences. Forget that. We got a star on the line, and this young lady is the talk of Chili Bowl. So there's a guy that was there for it, got to see this young lady firsthand. TJ, give us a little background.
Listen, I'll tell you exactly how I met her. So I'm at home working all week, doing the average Chili Bowl prep the week before because, we all procrastinate. And I'm watching everything the week before, and I see this name, Jordan Mann, pop up in like TQ, TQ, TQ. Then I'm watching Main Day, and I'm like, I don't no clue who this is, boy, girl, whatever, right? And then I see the podium pictures pop up, and this is this little girl over here. I'm like, man, this girl came in Mud Boss shootout week and just destroyed everybody, right?
She put the boss in Mud Boss.
She sure did. So kudos to you guys for making it last 2 weeks and coming out healthy and on top. So congratulations. But this is the talk of the town, Jordan Mann.
How did you guys get started RC racing?
I started RC racing when I was probably 13. My dad got me into it. And I quit when I was 18, started big car racing.
Okay.
I ain't even thought about RC car racing until we took her out to the local track. And she was watching the off-roads run. And she was like, Daddy, I want to try this. So I went and bought her one. Next week, we went and raced. She finished, I believe it was third in her first race in novice class. Went back the next week, she got second. Went back the third time. She led all the race and pulled in the pits early before the race was over. She thought it was done. Still ended up second. And then we had the dirt oval sitting there, the asphalt oval. I said, all right, I'll buy one and try this oval stuff with you. I hadn't done it in a while, so we started with asphalt oval. She struggled with it to traction roll a lot, flip over. I'd never done it before. I went out there and won every race they had that year. And she's mad at me because she wasn't winning. So I kept working on her. I knew it was her that had to improve to get the wins. And finally, the next year, she started winning in that. So, I mean, it just went crazy after that. We was racing her 3-4 times a week, running 2 and 3 classes every time a door was open somewhere. And I'd ask her, baby, you want to go race this week? Daddy, you don't ever have to ask me that. I always want to go.
That's a racer right there.
Yeah, so we just stay at it.
Cool. So tell us, Jordan, tell us from your perspective, like what do you like the best of what brought you into RC?
Well, it just, when I went to the off-road race, it just looked fun, and I wanted to do it. So he bought me one, and I did it.
That's awesome. So you like it, huh? You like the dirt better than the asphalt?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you like oval better than off-road?
Definitely.
Yeah, we ain't been back to the off-road track since.
Hey, what happened when I went and watched you that one race? We put that new motor in your car. What were they saying when you were coming off the track?
I'm cheating.
Unbelievable. Yeah. The only cheating is that she's so talented.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't tech that. You can't tech talent.
No.
There you go, right? There you go.
All right. So you went from off-road into oval. You went from asphalt to dirt. Okay. So how long have you been doing this now?
4 years.
And how old are you now?
12.
Okay, so you've been doing it 4 years. You started when you're 8. You're 12 now. So how many years have you been on actual dirt for dirt oval then? Do you know that? No. 3. Okay. So, I mean, that's majority of your career so far. So what big races have you done before the Mud Boss shootout and then Chili Bowl? Because I know you went somewhere in the last year and did fairly well.
The Dixie Nationals.
Mm-hmm. What'd you race there?
Super Street and 12 turn.
Okay, so which out of those two, which one was your favorite?
Super Street.
Why is that?
because it ran better.
Yeah. Was it a better car?
Yeah.
You got to blame the crew chief for that one.
Yep.
Okay, so how did you do at Dixie Nats then? Because that's a pretty big race.
Well, the first year I went, I finished second. I was still on the lead lap.
He's the only one that's still in the lead lap.
Well,
That's good.
Yeah. The second year, where did I finish?
You got wrecked out of the B main while you was leading.
Oh yeah, I got wrecked, and then I had to miss a scoring loop. Well, I missed a scoring loop, and then yeah.
Was this your first experience at ChiliBowl or your first year there?
Yeah, it was the first year.
Okay. So what did you think? I mean,
It was good.
yeah. Was it what you expected when you walked in the building?
No.
Because I know the Mud Boss shootout was a little bit smaller than what ChiliBowl was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Less vendors.
Any idea, Jimmy, how many competitors there were in that?
I think it ended up being 109 total for the first week.
Okay.
Wasn't many, but there were some really good competitors there.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching video. It looked really competitive.
Yeah.
You even had the guys like the Salvage Brothers, the OG guys from the actual Mud Boss group itself. They're there competing, and you beat them.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about
That's
those
right.
guys. I mean, obviously there's been a big stir between, the Mud Boss and Traxxas coming out with the Mud Boss and whatnot. So they're the ones that really were the leaders that started the entire class itself. Then they brought in, the other classes, which let's talk about that. First week of Mud Boss shootout, you ran what classes?
Traxxas modified, BL2 Mud Boss, and 12-turn Mud Boss.
So let's define all three of those classes so the average Joe who doesn't race or the friends who don't know what you do, let's talk about each one. So which one's the first one we want to talk about?
BL2.
What is BL2?
It's got a BL2 motor.
Okay.
And
What's
it's
the next
fast.
one? And it's fast because it's brushless, right?
Mm-hmm.
The next one is what? 12-turn?
Yes.
What's the difference between that?
It's got a 12-turn motor and it
Okay, and then what was the other one?
Traxxas modified.
All right. So out of those three, which one did you like running the most?
BL2.
Is that because it was fastest?
Mm-hmm.
How'd I know that was going to be your answer? So let's talk about how you did. So in all those three classes, how did you fare out?
I TQ'd all of them. And I finished first in 12-turn, second in BL2, and first in Traxxas modified.
And I find that interesting. The class that you finished second in, you actually said is your favorite car. So that shows you're a true racer. What was the biggest difference for you, Jordan, when you left the building, Mud Bossing, and you come back in the building, and now it's ChiliBowl? Did it just hit you differently, or?
Yeah, the people.
Yeah, just so many, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and how deep was the class, Jimmy? How many were in her classes? Do you know?
In the BL2 class, I want to say somewhere between 26 to 36. I can't remember the exact number.
Okay, and
It was the biggest class they had that week.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It was a big class, and there was some big hitters in there. So
yeah,
how do you enter that, Jordan? Like, what's your thought the first time you're going up on the stand and you're racing against older guys and some older ladies? Probably at 12, you're kind of the youngest, I would imagine, up there. Do you use that to your advantage, or how do you just zone in during that race?
I just say I'm the fastest and I go.
That a girl. If there's a t-shirt right there, I know I'm the fastest and I just go. I love it.
I've got an idea in my mind, and it's going to be her catchphrase because she always says it. So I'll tell you a quick little story. So the first time I get to watch her was after we talked at the Exalt tent. Got to shake her hand, introduce myself, kind of tell her about the Rising Star program. And she was just like, just kind of sat there and pondered it. And I said, when's your next race? She said, I have SEB mod next. I said, well, I'll come up there and watch you. So I did. This is, not overstepping any boundaries or anything. Would just stand to the side and just wanted to watch her wheel this thing. And I tell you what, man, that thing was cooking. So was the motor, but it was cooking. So the motor got real hot, and you could smell it. And she comes off the stand, and I look at her like, "What do you think?" And she says,
I go fast.
and I was like, "Well, how was your run?" She was like, she nodded, and she was like,
I go fast.
"That's it." I mean, that's
it.
If you want to talk about coining something, she walked off the stand with a smile on her face, and that was good. She did good in her seating round. You know what I mean? And so the motor was hot, and I said, "Hey, look, you guys are running a short course car with a two-turn motor in there. I'm going to help you out and give you something that's really going to take your power level to the next step." So gave him the motor. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm going to keep it a secret so you guys can keep it a secret. All right?
I got it sitting right here in front of me.
There you go.
I'll pixel it out. I'll make sure I pixel it out.
Yeah, it's the best kept secret in the short course world. And I won't say who did it, who makes it, but just know it's pretty good, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
and what does that motor make you do?
Go fast.
Yeah, that a girl.
So I give him the motor, we put it in there, and I'm like, "Look, now we're gonna have to take like what you're used to, and we're gonna have to tame it down because it's a specialty motor. It's big, but it's meant for your car." She goes out there and she's like, "Oh my gosh, tons of power, world of power." So then she goes out and wins her heats, wins her next heat, but it's what she needed. She needed a little extra something in that car to get it there. But I mean, even if she would have had the other motor in there, she would have done just fine with that X Factor motor in there too. Nice. So, but yeah, watching her wheel that thing, it was impressive because they're not easy to drive especially when you have that amount of power and you're on that kind of loose dirt. Because every time that she ran her car, at least that car, it was after a fresh rebuild. She was 1 or 2 after a rebuild, and those cars could get real skatey on loose. So she did well, really well.
What does that feel like then when you're coming off the stand and everybody's going, you got to see this young girl. You got to see this young girl wheel a car. Again, do you just kind of focus and just do your thing?
Yeah, basically.
Did you know all eyes were on you when you were racing at that time, or did you not realize it?
No, I didn't realize it.
Did you ever realize it?
A little bit.
Probably once we started working a little bit more on the car and threw that motor in, and you went through and did that first heat, then what?
They kept coming up.
Mm-hmm. So once we put that in there, I basically told Jimmy and Michael, who's her uncle, I said, "Hey, you just might as well just take that car back to the pit now and put it on the table because I'm sure people are going to want to look at it. Best bet thing for you guys is put the body on it, leave it on it, don't take it off until you guys need to clean it, run it, charge it." I was like, "This car's money right now." And I said, downfall to it is the guy that's going to be probably your biggest competitor won ChiliBowl last year. And I know Zach. I race against him a ton up north in Michigan. Good racer, fast car, always good quality equipment. So I said, he'll be tough to beat because he won it last year and he's running the same car. So, and she was just like, okay, like no big deal, but did well. Turned around. Both heats were good. I think you were 10th off one day, which the track was way different.
Yeah. The way that track was, Jordan, have you experienced that before and you're just able to adapt to it, or is it just hammer down, see where we go?
I've never experienced that before.
Okay. Okay.
So where you're from, you're used to running on dirt, but you're used to it being high bite, right?
Yes.
So you're used to being on slicks, you're on high bite, gripped up dirt, where you go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and you're running on loose dirt, where you guys don't usually see that, right?
Yeah.
It's a finesse game, but it shows the different type of driver that you can be, because with high bite, you're pinned down. You can hammer down on that thing, and it's just hairpin racing, right? Well, this, you've got hairpin racing because you're on a big track with speed, but the problem is now you got to find a way to put all that power down to the tires without spinning out.
Yeah, so how do you adjust to that? Again, let's forget you're 12 because you're talent-wise, you're well beyond your years. So, but just any racer, you're used to a certain, like you said, high bite track, and then all of a sudden you go to this loose dirt track. How do you make that? How do you adapt to that so quickly? I mean, people would have been impressed if you came from high bite, went to loose dirt, and you ran in the top 10. But you make this adjustment and you are up front, like TQ and running up front. How do you do that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
How about you, Jimmy? How do you make that adjustment for her? Because I know you and Michael do a lot of the wrenching right now, but don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Every time I've walked up by there, she's either cleaning tires or she's turning a wrench too. But kudos to you guys because you guys put a lot of work into that program with her. So
Usually I will take her car and drive it, and I can tell her how to go drive it after that.
mm-hmm.
Sometimes she can go to a track and, she can just pick up and go, and I don't have to help her at all. But like here at the ChiliBowl, it was tough because we really didn't know what adjustments to make, didn't know how to get it to grip, didn't know how to do any of that. And it shows in all the classes except for the B mod class. And I don't know why it worked out so good, probably because it's more similar to what we usually run on the car. But once I tell her, hey, ease into the throttle or take some dual rate out or something like that, she can make the adjustment and go every time.
Well, that and short course based cars are always more forgiving on anything that you do. They're going to react more like a real car, whereas your buggy based cars they're more finesse. You've got to be almost perfect with the trigger. You've got to have the right setup on it. You've got to have the tires right. But I think that's something that we were able to show you guys, even to gain a couple tenths to keep you in the ballpark of Zach. Tires, right? Tires.
It's the only thing that touches the track.
Yeah.
Let's get into the next phase of this because there was something going on weeks before ChiliBowl that Jordan and Jimmy, I don't think you even knew what was going on, which was putting together. We had on a previous episode, we had the guys from Rising Star, and I think you know all about it now, but at the time they were explaining it to us, and it just hit TJ and I in the heart, and we're like, yes, this is why we do this show. This is why TJ's in the hobby. He's helped so many racers, help them with parts or help them just with setup to love the hobby, to enjoy the hobby and be able to do it at your very best. This hobby ain't cheap. It just isn't, right? This whole thing came about and TJ took it by the horns and got all these great supporters of dirt RC racing together. Things just started pouring in and the collaboration came together with this car. TJ put it together. And so then came the hard part. And the hard part is you go to ChiliBowl and you got a bunch of people there, and there's a bunch of people that fit the description we were looking for, and that was somebody who's an up and comer, puts their heart into it, makes the most out of what they have. They don't have all the fancy stuff and the fancy tent and the and all stickered up car and all the latest and greatest. They're racing their heart out with what they have, and we're not even looking for somebody who's running up front. We're just looking for somebody who's running for the clear spirit of the sport. And what was it? Second day, Teach, and you reach out and you're like, guys, if this person, this young lady, wasn't absolutely designed for what we're looking for, it's going to be really hard for somebody to beat her out for what we're looking for. And so we all. How many sponsors are involved in this thing, Teach?
The list is too
17, 18.
17, 18 sponsors. Yeah, that pulled together for this. So everybody really had an input on it. Now, not all of them were there at once, which, that's hard to do. But at least with the support aspect of it, they're all text away. So we had a really big group chat. I tried to be as vocal as I could, and I said, listen, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, this girl is going to be a hard one to not pick unless somebody else just rises above and just shows it, because everything we looked for were how you raced. Were you a clean racer? Your sportsmanship. How did you carry it off the driver's stand? How are you in the pits? Are you just dropping your car down and running away? How do you talk to your family members? Like there's a couple kids I probably would have loved to give that program to. They probably could have used it, really used it. But but character, it matters, how you speak to your family. That's a big moral compass value for me. And then obviously just seeing what the program you already have, you're getting by with bare bones minimum. You know what I mean? So when I look at the program, I'm like, nothing wrong with your program, but we can make it better. You know what I mean? And so when I sent them that message, Kevin from Wits came over. And he's like, hey, I want to show you something. And so we go by and we take a picture of some of your cars. Like, you guys weren't around, but we took pictures. We sent them in the group chat, and we were like, hey guys, just check this out. Like, there's not a single sponsor on there. It's literally just one number, her name, and that's it.
This is family owned.
Yeah.
This is family owned equipment.
She's here. Her grandfather's here. Her dad's here. Her uncle's here. And they're the ones that are all helping her get through this. And they're trying to do a little bit of racing themselves, but you could tell in your focus on your program, Jimmy, you were willing to set your car aside and say, hey, I'm going to focus on this program. I'm going to focus on her, and that was another part of it too, was what's her support program look like? Obviously you can't just give it to a kid who has no backing to her or them, but the idea of this whole program was, look, I'm looking at all these 5 core values, and she was an absolute cookie cutter mold from it from the second I met her. She was willing to go up to this tent, talk to me, had no clue who I was. And I just recognized her, and I was like, man, like, this girl's here. She's probably got a good chance. Not because of how she did the week before, but that was impressive. You know what I mean? That was impressive for the Mud Boss shootout. But then let's see how things fare out. We have all the way until, Friday to get this all figured out. And then once we get to Friday, my decision was made on Tuesday. I knew on Tuesday what my vote was. Now I just got to let these guys know, and the one sponsors that were there get their input. Because some of them knew, but they didn't really know who they were looking for. They're focused on their programs. You know what I mean?
There's some of us that are back home, and again, Jordan, you have no idea, but like 17 people are like watching Lifetime and looking at the stats and seeing what you're doing. And then, and like I said, it wasn't a slam dunk right off the bat. I mean, with TJ's feedback in the family piece and, that it was a family owned car and all that stuff played a major factor, but we're like, well, let's see if she gets hit with any adversity, right? Like, how is she going to handle that? Mm-hmm. You really didn't, but you have to be as gracious a winner as someone who doesn't finish up front, right? And you just, you just kept amazing us. We're all watching the camera, and they're kind of, getting camera on you and stuff, and we're watching your race, and we're seeing the laps, and it's like, come on, this is a 30-year-old person in a 12-year-old body. They're just trying to fool us.
But
you were so poised. Mm-hmm. And again, your dad knows, he's in the business. This kid ain't no joke. Like, this ain't no joke. There's everything as about top end as you can go. And so built on the GFRP platform, and everybody, built around it. So, we had to be careful. We had to make sure that we didn't just live on emotion, right? Mm-hmm. You can't just say, oh, this is so cool. She's a 12-year-old girl. Like, this will be great for the hobby. There's a lot more to it. But, and Jordan, I just have to say, you are the epitome of what this program is about. And this started in Canada, and those guys were like, yep, we've been doing this for years. And that's exactly the person that we're looking for to be one of our rising stars. So just kudos to you. But I have to ask you, were you shocked? Like, were you surprised? Did you have any idea when Scotty started to explain this thing and then says, you're the winner? Did you have any clue?
Nah.
But what's funny about the whole week is, since the first time she came to the tent and I was able to go watch one of her practice rounds, she just became like a little track buddy to me. Like, she would write down what heats that they're all in, but then she would include my numbers in there too. That's so cool. Like, when I would go up to race, she'd find her way up there. Or if I wasn't at the track or in my pit or doing sales for Exalt or working on my car or somebody else's, that was the the busiest time was the beginning of the day for us. And that was usually, for me, was we were soldering in motors. We were tuning things, making generally most of our sales in the beginning of the day were usually right there the first couple hours. So whereas I wouldn't hit the track till after 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd get a lot of time to be able to go and watch or work on customers' cars. And that's really what the name of the game was for me, was just consistently wrenching. But we'd always try and go watch the track and go watch people, or I'd have to go drop somebody in and support them. But she did. She wrote down when my heats were, and she would go up there. And there's a couple times I said, "Hey, I'm going to need you to drop my car in. If I say we got to change these rear tires, you're going to have to change them." And she's like, "Okay." I gave her that 7 mil nut driver, and I gave her the 2 rears. I was like, if my gut isn't right with what I'm thinking, we're going to change these tires. Okay. And then she's spotting for me. I can hear her voice when she's saying, "Hey, go high in 2," or whatever we're going to have to change. You need that. You know what I mean? So it wasn't at one point in time did I ever think that she wasn't fully bought into the program, because she was either in her pit, walking around, or at the track. Right. And I think that was a big point for me, because while there's tons of kids around just running around doing their thing, she's not. She's poised. She's cool as the other side of the pillow, because she's watching these big time racers. And I got to chat with her a little bit, every day. Every day we're hanging out. I'm seeing her at the track, she embodied still to those points, like that. This is all the more reason. And until that Friday hit, it was like, all right, this is for sure going to happen, and this is going to be the one. But just seeing her learn, because even getting to learn about her through, Jimmy and Michael and her grandfather through that time, this was not something she's used to racing on. That the track conditions is not what she's used to, because she did okay in street stock, and she did okay in midget, you know what I mean? But her best class was SEB mod. So while she didn't put her head down in the other 2 classes, she just got through them. You know what I mean? She did the best with what she could with what she had.
And what's kind of the future plans? I'm sure Dad can jump in on that too. But what do you want to do next?
Be a pro driver.
But we want to get on and move out and race with the best all the time. And don't get me wrong, our guys around here are really good. That you can take these guys anywhere and they can go win anywhere in the country. They're really good in our area. But we want to go keep the spotlight on her, keep her out there in front of everybody, and just see how far she can go. As far as the giveaway car, we are going to run it. Brent Densford is having a race, a loose dirt race down there Memorial Day weekend. We'll be down there running that race probably with that one.
And where would that be at?
It's in North Carolina, but it's right there around Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
So cool, I'll give you a little bit of backstory real quick on that car. So the car we built in our mind was a 24 Salient, which is for loose dirt, kind of medium, gripped up situations. You can put it on some high bite stuff, but it just wouldn't compete to what like a Mistress would be. So after we gave her the package and she was announced, I took her around to the sponsors that were there, so she can thank them and get a proper introduction, so they could put a face with the name other than just this, prodigy, infamous 12-year-old kid. So they put a face with a name. And so Dustin actually was asking what kind of conditions they race on back at home, which is not loose dirt at all. So they'd actually said that they would build her a Mistress. They would get it to her, and then also a foam tire car. So they're actually going to give her a foam tire car as well. So not only she walk away with one kit, but she's going to walk away with more than one, so she can make sure she's racing the highest level product on the track that she races at home.
That's wild. And that says a lot, Jordan. I mean, for them to add another car, you really impressed them. And that's something. Just this whole thing, was just it just says so much about the hobby. Like I kind of said earlier, like that's the reason this show even started. It was just people they just think they're toy cars. And we always say all the time, we're just out having fun racing toy cars. That's the truth. But there's so much to it, right? There's so much more to it. And it's really what happens off the track. It's these types of friendships that build. Like you had no idea, either of you, that you're going to meet TJ. TJ had no idea he was going to meet you guys and that there'd be a connection. And then there's 17 people like watching you grow.
I said, while winning is, a key factor, they want to see you perform. Sometimes you're going to be humbled. You'll be humbled by the fact that you're going to show up somewhere and you may not do well. So we talked a little bit about that. She questioned why some of these sponsored drivers were sponsored, and I said, well, what do you want out of this? And she said she wanted to be a
sponsored driver.
So when you went to ChiliBowl, did you think you would leave being a sponsored driver?
No.
When you did well at the Mud Boss Shootout, did you think you would leave as a sponsored driver?
Not really.
No. So you went into this whole ordeal with an open mind of just going there just to race, right?
Yep.
Did you know you were going to do really well?
No.
No. So come Friday, and we got all the drivers out there, and we're getting ready. We're doing the parade of cars, and Scotty brings out that kit, and he brings out all them boxes filled with product. When he was talking about the Rising Star program, in that very moment, you had no idea you were getting it, did you?
No.
No.
Was there somebody else there who you thought was going to get it, or just didn't quite just taken in like, what is this whole thing, right?
I had no clue.
So I know your dad knew. You want to know how I knew he knew? Because I had to tell him, hey, I know we're not going to have a lot of time. I just need you to understand what's about to happen. All right? And I don't want you to be blindsided, but I want you to understand because this is what I'm going to need from you when it's all said and done. I just had a few things I had to, dot my I's and cross my T's basically with him, but he knew right before. So did Michael.
Wasn't going to tell you.
He was never going to tell you.
Dad's a good poker player. So Jimmy, we got to ask, that leads to the question, when TJ comes up and he tells you this, what's your thoughts?
I thought it was great. It's really something we need for the program to advance. I know where she needs to go to be able to race at the top level and the equipment it takes to get her there. So it was awesome. It stepped us up big time, and not only the product given away, but all the support from all the sponsors that's where it's really at. The stuff she's going to be able to learn and figure out, and she already likes helping people. So I told her, when we get a car in, me and her will sit here together and we'll build one of the new purpose-built cars, and I can teach her how to do it, and she can help others. She already knows how to do a slash. She built a whole slash that was given to her for winning one of the grassroots championships and decided she wanted to let other kids race it in the kids class. She just pick a different kid out every week and say, hey, you need to come run this week. It's fast and you can win. And that's where we need to go, man. And I can't tell you how much we appreciate the opportunity. It's going to be great.
So now that you are a sponsored driver, what do you want to do as a sponsored driver? How will you be different?
I'll go faster.
There you go. There you go.
So now that you're a sponsored driver, things will be looked at from you differently. Okay, so I'll be here to help you through it all. I can help you with any questions, comments, concerns you have, but there's just things that are going to be asked of you. Race reports, they want to see them. Maybe time to get Jordan Mann a racing page. And let that be something that's managed by your dad.
That's something we talked about doing on the way back from ChiliBowl.
Yep.
Part of that, the branding idea, getting you to that next level. You got Carpies on your side. They're the ones that are fully responsible for everything a Wild thing, So I thank them and the entire group for that branding aspect. But that's where it could take your program next level, get notarized for not only do you race well, but now you're going to look well doing it because they're going to put you in the best wrap possible. They're going to take care of whatever merchandise you need design-wise. They're going to help you with that. So if you want to sell shirts, you want to sell merchandise, that's next level. You know what I mean? That's something that can help your program, help fund some things. But as a team driver, I would just tell you, continue to do what you're doing because it's working. You're calm on the stand. You don't worry about the person in front of you or next to you. You just race the best race you can. And usually which is pretty good, is you come out on top, and I've watched you lose with grace too, and that matters. So obviously the street stock and the midget didn't fare well the best for you, but you drove them the best you could with what you had, right? You still came off there and you tried, you gave it your best, and then you still ran out to Marshall. You know what I mean? So as a team driver, I would tell you as a sponsored driver, that all matters because everybody's looking at you now. If they weren't looking at you before, they're looking at you now. They're just going to wonder, how did this 12-year-old girl get all that? Show them.
And you know what you need to do, Jordan, right? To prove those guys what it's like. What's your catchphrase?
I go fast.
There you go. And all the rest will fill out. I'll have one question and then one observation. Just do us one favor. Everything TJ touched on is right. The branding, you're going to have to focus on some different things. There's going to be more people coming and taking a little bit of your time because they want to learn more about you. But never change you. Just be Jordan Mann at the core, right? Because your personality and your kindness and, you're just real. And that's what has drawn everybody to you. So just stay in that lane, learn from everybody, and make sure you go fast. The last question I have for you is, what are you going to do to that shark body? Like, you got a shark body and you got a Carpy's wrap. I don't know if the body's going to change now because of the car, but like, give us a inside scoop of maybe a couple of things that we might see on the body.
Pink and black.
Nice.
Bright pink.
Nice. They're going to know Jordan Mann is there.
What about a nickname? You got one of them in there?
Wild Child.
We got Wild Thing.
Yeah.
And we got Wild Child.
All we got to do is just, you got to get a hold of them. We'll get them in contact. We'll get them the wrap going, and then they'll send you a million designs until you're 100% satisfied. It's the best thing about them.
All right. Well, we just got one more thing, TG, that we got to put them on the hot seat on. Now, Jimmy, he owns an RC company. Jimmy, tell us a little bit about the company.
That's new. We build cars for customers. We go buy the people out that's quitting, and we'll use that equipment to get new people started. In the beginning, we do setups for people, build shocks, cut bodies, paint them, airbrush, lettering. Gosh, you name it, we're working towards being able to do it.
That's awesome. Well, you know a lot about the hobby. And so we do a thing, I don't know if you watch the show, but we do a thing called Quick Time. And so TJ's going to hit you with some questions. But it's going to be either of you can pick them, and probably like some of the food ones and teach.
Oh yeah.
Jordan's got to answer those because, we want to know her favorite foods and stuff. So you're ready for that, right? And then Dad can answer some more of the technical questions. So when you want to start, hold on. Gotta get this timer going here.
It's about 20 questions, and they're just simple. I'm going to ask you a question, and you got to give me an answer. Okay.
Okay.
It won't be yes or no. You gotta give me something. You got to give me something out of it. Okay.
Quick.
Yeah, and it's got to be quick.
You got to go fast.
Yeah, this you definitely got to go. Now we'll know. People will see you can go fast. All right. You as soon as you answer the first, I'll let TJ explain it. This is his gig.
Okay. As soon as I ask the first question, he's going to start the clock for you. Okay. And we're going to see how long it takes you to get through all these questions.
And Dad can help.
All right. You guys ready?
We're ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Favorite RC tool?
Motors.
Favorite trackside snack?
M&M's.
Favorite local track?
Easily RC.
Favorite out-of-town track?
ChiliBowl.
Ooh. White wheels or yellow wheels?
White.
Sprint or late model?
Late model.
SE mod or B mod?
B mod.
Midget or non-wing?
Midget.
Indoor or outdoor?
Indoor.
High bite or loose dirt?
High bite.
Pepsi or Coke?
Pepsi.
Max rear steer or left rear only?
Max.
Clean car or wait till it breaks?
Clean.
440 or metric?
Metric.
Trackside food or DoorDash?
Trackside.
Ball diff or gear diff?
Gear diff.
Gear.
Steak or chicken?
Steak.
Tire prep or dry tire?
Tire prep.
Deep dish or thin crush?
Pizza. Which one is best? Deep dish.
Ding, 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 ding.
1 minute, 22 seconds. See, she does go fast. That's one of the
She
best
got on
times
it.
of the year. That was
pretty
awesome.
good. That's
Awesome.
pretty good. Pretty good.
Carpy's print embroidery and wraps, where speed meets style. From RC race wraps to go-kart and full-bodied race car wraps, Carpy's is the leader in custom designs that turn heads and crush the competition. Want your gear to match your passion? We've got you covered with custom merch that shows off your racing spirit, no matter where you go. At Carpy's, we're more than just wraps. We're your race day secret weapon. Fast, bold, unforgettable. Carpy's print embroidery and wraps dominate the track, own the look.
Thank you for listening to another great podcast on the RCU radio channel. Please like, subscribe, and tell your friends to join the channel for more RC content. RCU Radio. We cover it all.